Start over again.
Okay. Oh my God. I want to sincerely apologize. Internet and mobile phone is my problem. Apparently people couldn't hear me, and I was trying to sort things out. And you would think that Ronald would be unflappable, but any small thing is hyperventilate and everything. And like, dude, calm down. I only have two pairs of hands, and I can only do one thing at a time. I can't do more than that. So, anyways, I don't know whether I should repeat this wig story for the third time or just let it go. Anyway, my wig and my glasses conspired to disgrace me today, but the devil is a liar. I refuse to be disgraced. And I hope you are seeing our new logo. So, anyways, what happened is we are talking about. Oh God! Please, people of internet watching me right now, I need a new laptop, please, because my old laptop is not working. It's not supporting the system, it's not doing anything. It has turned itself into enemy of the state. So please reach out to your sister-in-law. Anybody that has a fairly used laptop that can donate to the cause will be very, very grateful. Because at this point, I'm about to go crazy. So, anyways, I'm not going to talk about my day or anything anymore. We're going straight into the topic. How do you know if the one you're with loves you? How do you know that the relationship that you're in, whether it's a marriage or a relationship, that that person is your ride or die, that that person is a person that loves you to like loves the bones of you, the meat of you, rise, good times, bad times. Okay, let me give an example and then I'll throw it to Ronald. Some years ago, several years ago, I was seeing somebody, and we got engaged. And in fact, we got engaged when I was ill. I was going through a period of paralysis then. And you know, he oh God. Bookie is going to kill me about this handle thing. I don't know where this handle is coming from. Let me move it like that. Okay. So he proposed to me when I was actually very ill and had become paralyzed. And he was one who helped me to actually get back on my feet. Now, we eventually didn't get married, but one thing I know without any doubt in my mind was in that period, he loved me. It wasn't a case of pity because I know when someone is feeling sorry for me. It was not about pity. It was that he saw me and he who I was enough for him. So that was one confirmation to me for me that I was loved. Now, because someone loves you doesn't mean that they're going to always be with you. That they're always going to. Sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes love doesn't. It doesn't do enough for us. So because someone loves you or you love someone doesn't mean that that's going to be the be all and end all. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way. So that was a way that I knew that that person loved me, because they were with me at the worst time of my life. They didn't leave me, they didn't abandon me. And, they were there for me in every way, shape, or form. And that human capacity for compassion is not long. So for someone to stay with you and be there for you for almost 2 years, that's love. So unfortunately, Ronald isn't here now. I want to see if we have guests. I had Liz. I had Liz waiting. Ronald, what are you feeling like? I give yourself applause. Okay, oh, Mr. Applaudisse. Ronald, so how was your day?
Well, it's cold out here in Cape Town, so
Why is bloody
oh,
hot here in the UK?
in fact, we're witnessing temperatures that are below what we're used to here. But it's not snowing anyway. So, but I had a very busy day. I was in my car almost the entire time, driving from one point to the other.
Wow.
We, we thank God that we are here. Thank God we are
So
here.
was this for work?
Yeah, work, errands, and all that, because
Okay.
we're locked down here in Cape Town. In South Africa, we have a 9 o'clock curfew. So you have to do everything you have to do before 8. And
Oh,
everybody,
is this because of the COVID?
yes.
We've been released, we've been let loose, going into the world that spreads the virus. That's where we are now in the UK.
Uh, you know, well, because well, let me just say, because the vaccines haven't been available for all. They only gave those from 60, yeah, 65 and above. Is it 60 years and above vaccination? Then now it's between 35 and 50 or thereabout. But it's not yet. I don't think they
The
started.
vaccination is available to everybody here. However, people who have been vaccinated are still catching corona to the point that it's still taking them to hospital. So if you've gotten vaccinated, but corona takes you to hospital, then you're still in the same shoes as somebody who didn't get the vaccination.
No, they actually warn here that there are slight side effects. Like when you get the jab, you're going to, like, it depends on what they took. There are side effects that will look like real, they'll have symptoms of real sicknesses, but it's just your body reacting. Remember, the vaccine is an introduction of the problem so that your body can fight it off on its own. That's the whole concept. Not like it's
Well,
curing.
I remember watching something on TV where they were actually asking that question and saying, well, why are you putting corona in my body to fight corona? And I remember the doctor actively saying, oh, it does not have any corona. It's just a simulation. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
So,
teaching somebody boxing. Okay. All right.
so
So, but other than that, my day has been quite okay. Not too.
that's good
Yeah.
because you have been stressing a lot concerning the show. And I'm refusing to stress because already my blood pressure has risen. So I'm trying not to even let it bother me. I'm trying not to sweat the small stuff, because we to start at 8, and somehow every time the laptop ends up messing me up and I have to end up with the tablet. And it's like my tablet is saying, stop trying to discard me. Oh, I'm the one saving you. So you know what? Next week I'm not even going to bother with it. I'm just going to use the tablet. I'm not messing about. I'm not doing that. So, anyways, we're talking about the topic. How do you know if the one you're with loves you? So, what are your thoughts? And please, to anyone who is watching who wants to join us, please look at the code, click on it, and you'll be able to come onto the panel and join us and share your thoughts with us. So, yeah, Ronald.
Yeah. So, like I always do, I always speak from the perspective of marriage, because that's where I'm at now. That's where I can fully explain. Ah, well, how do you know if the one you're with loves you? It's a very tricky question, because sometimes people meet for different reasons. There are people who just meet that moment, they have this magical spark, they get along, everything moves smoothly. Now, even in that condition, there are people who are just pretenders. They're just doing it for an ulterior motive. They're just pretending. Maybe the guy is rich and the girl is just playing loyalty, or the lady is rich and the guy is just trying to get everything, milk her dry and get out and all that. Because in the end, remember, I keep saying this all the time. This true love is not tested by that. I don't believe it's love at first sight or love, blah, blah, blah. For me, love is tested. It doesn't matter how much you smile at me, how much you. I started by giving classes. I said, some people, it works for them, but I don't believe it. I said this in the beginning.
I
Some people,
I
it
get that.
Hold on, I'm coming. Some people it works for them. Some people it's being done for ulterior motive. That's why I keep saying there's no one fix all rule for everybody. But I always come from my own opinion, because I've not seen a general rule that works for every single human being. Okay, because human beings are so dynamic that you can't even place in something to everybody. Now, why do I say one should be careful about telling people that there's love at first sight or strong love that will bind people? Yeah, like you said, it works for some people. But let's not mislead everybody into believing that every single human being is going to have that experience. It is not true. It's not going to happen to
No,
everybody.
nobody has said that.
Yes, allow me land. I'm talking. So
Go on.
so by the time you come in, because the reason why I avoid falling into that trap, because now we have young people getting married. We don't want to create the impression that if the other person is not exhibiting some certain believed traits as signal for love, then it means the other person hates the person. Some people are just antisocial. They are not expressive. But okay, I'll give you an example. There are some people that don't know how to say sorry. They will look for trouble, cause problem and everything. They don't know how to say sorry. But the spouse understands that when the person say, did you cook that egusi soup I told you to cook? She already knows somewhere at the end that peace has returned. He's not going to say, I am sorry. Or she won't say, I am sorry. But because you've been around long enough, you understand, okay, this person has apologized. Or the person can just say, see this Gucci bag I bought, Jare, I know it says you, just throw it at you. Because he knew he offended you previously. And that's a way to make up. He's just trying to, I don't know if I'm making sense.
Hello.
Liz, thank you for joining
you.
us. The topic is, how do you know if the one you're with loves you? So Ron is talking. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but before I was cut off by Madam Abi. You're making me angry and upset. Anyway, so back to what we were saying.
I apologize. I will say I am sorry.
No, I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it like that. It's a podcast. So, like I said, everybody will exhibit different traits. Do you understand? And the reason why maybe I'm using strong words and all that. It's not meant to be seen as if that the people doing it, people who did it and got away and it worked for them, are considered to be the luckiest people. Okay. Now I'm happy for those people, but then again, I'm still trying to explain that everybody should not just go and key into it and assume that that's how it works. It doesn't work like that. I have reasons to think that way, but then again, it's my thinking. It's not a general thinking, my own opinion. Now, the thing is this: if you can meet somebody for the first time and you get swept off your feet, you start doing things you normally would not do, you start acting, and loving, and you're only thinking because you have the pureness of your heart, you are very pure from the heart, you believe that, okay, this thing will work. How do we guarantee that the next person is even thinking the same thing you are thinking? We've had conversations about women who have been disappointed in other podcasts, like the woman does everything, just like that Italian woman. She put in her all, but the guy's mind wasn't even there in the first place.
Yeah.
So now it is for this reason. Maybe I shouldn't have used the word stupid, but I'm not insulting anybody. But it's for this reason that I'm saying that when you get into it, calm down and observe. If something is not working out, it might be your fault, it might not be your fault. Okay? You might be doing something wrong, or maybe the person is just not a nice person. But what's important is that calm down, look for a way to see these things happening. Like, again, I'm talking about marriage. Look for a way to see how these things can be fixed. See if you're deficient in some certain things. See if the other person is just being unreasonable. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, we just look at it like this. If you are married, okay, if you are not married, if you're a couple, you're dating, you're courting, and you notice that two of you are from the opposite end of the spectrum. Now, I'm talking courting in the sense that maybe nobody's forcing anybody to marry. You people just met yourselves on your own. And you see that you people don't align. Don't even bother. Don't, because nobody can change anybody. Don't go into marriage thinking or a deep relation and say, when I get in, I'm going to change this person or that person. No, you can't change anybody. They are grown adults. Everybody are set on their ways. So when you come in, you are going to continue with what you met from the beginning. Never ever assume that oh, my character, I'm going to preach to the person, I'm going to show love to God. It's not going to work. However, if you are in it already, and like I said, it's already too late, there's nothing anybody can do. The best you can do is just find a way that works for both of you. So that's just my own 2 cents.
Okay, before you go, Liz, sorry, I'm going to add you on, but I just want to ask Ron a question. So what do you say about opposites attract?
Yeah, opposite attracts in the sense that what one person lacks, the other person is providing. You can have a guy that is very quiet, introverted. I won't use the word antisocial, but just somebody who doesn't know how to relate with people. Then you have a wife that is loud. She knows how to make friends. She knows how to settle disputes and all that. You see, in that situation, they are now complementing each other.
Okay.
They are now in that sense of opposite attract. Or you can have the man is illiterate, not illiterate, but not scholars, is not sound, not intellectual. Then he marries a lady who is well educated, vast, traveled around. Then maybe when they have to deal with business or issue, then you see she comes in and takes she covers that gap the man
Yeah.
doesn't have, or the other way around. So in that sense, opposites, yes, attract is fine. I believe in it. It's okay because it's a
Okay.
general thing. It's not a one-sided thing. It's a general thing that's been tested, and we see it work most of the time. Okay, so
Okay.
in that, yeah.
Okay, Liz, thank you for holding on. So what do you think about, the question of how do you know if the one you're with loves you?
Okay, for me, I think if the person puts you first, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'll say first and first, you kind of feel it. Like if the other person is selfless, caring, he puts your needs first. Like just you probably like sharing the same vision or goal, even if it's different. It pushes you, drives you. I'm talking from my own perspective because I'm female,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. So yeah, I think if you work as a team, and at the end of the day, yeah, everybody have different love language. So what I feel might be different from the other. So it depends if the person actually tries to understand your love language. So if you like
Okay.
gifts, if you like affirmation, if you like service, and this person is putting an effort to do it, putting an effort to make you smile, I think that's the list is endless, but this is what I can think of right now.
Okay, yeah, I completely agree. I also want to ask a question because, and from the female perspective, I want to hear
Yeah.
your thoughts on that because I'm actually getting comments on a different screen as I'm speaking, so it's not showing up on our stream yet. Please, can everyone who's sending me their comments, can you please try and put it on StreamYard, please, so that at least it shows up. Use the link to join us. So
Okay.
well, the question that someone sent to me was, you talked about that the person I was engaged with, that I said earlier that I believe that the person loved me because the person was with me at my lowest. I said, but you didn't marry the person, so how is that true love? So must true love end always in a marriage? And
Uh,
we hear this statement. So sorry,
yeah.
and we also
Yeah. I
hear this
can.
statement that is being said many times when we meet people who say, "Oh, we were together, we did everything, it didn't work because love is not enough."
Yeah.
So, can someone truly love you, but you still can't be with them?
Yeah, I think so. And I would agree with that statement that love is not enough. It requires effort. Like we're all different individuals. No individual is the same. So to accommodate another person can be tedious, regardless of if we love them or not. So many people have made a lot of decisions. Even if they love this person, they had to leave. I mean, talk about genotype is there. So many other things there that can, stop people from getting together. And at times, when people end up together, maybe a relationship that don't work, they discover that they are different people, and they don't connect at some level. There's something a relationship requires deep connection, and if it's not there, it doesn't move forward. So I think once you get to that level, if you connect at that level, then everything falls in place. But yes, love can be number one. But as humans, we're all selfish. We're all selfish. That's what I tell you. We're all selfish.
Yeah,
So
that's
we
true.
go into something for what we'll get. So if you're not meeting that, maybe one person is in love and the other person is not. Or you people are not. Like I said, love language, it matters. So if I feel, oh, you're not telling me words enough, that I won't feel loved, I would run away from that. Like, I mean, it can cause major setbacks. So I think it depends on that connection, that deep connection. When you find, yeah. So I'll go with the others that say love is not enough. Yeah.
Okay. What about the other question that was asked of me? The person said, well, if truly this person loved you, then why didn't you get married? Like, wow. If
To
I
be
don't know
honest,
what's going on, he's not letting me add you. I'm trying to add you. I'm
you know,
sorry, Liz, but
yeah.
I'm trying to add Ife on, and it's not letting me add them. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, Liz, continue,
Yeah,
please.
I don't know if you have female besties. That's pure love right there. There's some people that have like love for their other gender. I mean, LGBTQW, I think the new one aside,
Hi.
there's that love, so you can actually share love with someone and things don't move. Like, I don't know how to put this here. You just get to a level where you just know that let's just end there, even if the love is plenty. Like I said, there are some situations, circumstances, maybe in your own case, you knew why you couldn't move on. Some people, the love just ended because it didn't end per se, but they couldn't move forward. Let's say they don't have they have genotype issues, and obviously you don't want to bring kids to the world to suffer. So that's like, I'm just being diplomatic right now because I can't really say, but I just know that we share love to different people. I mean, I have like a friend that I know I can say, oh, I love this girl so much. Obviously,
True.
nothing, but yeah, it can still consist. So people can actually not move forward and still love each other. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, the question made me laugh, but I was like, I would like somebody else to talk about it to see maybe my own because the thing is, for me and my ex-fiance, the love will always be there. I will always love
Right.
him, and I'm sure
Yeah.
that he will always love me. But for us, again, love is not enough. We love each other.
Right.
We were together for 2 years. We went through the most traumatic 2 years together, strong as anything. In fact, people used to look at us and be like, now wow. But as you said, towards the end, we realized that even though we've survived the most traumatic period together and we had all these hopes and dreams, unfortunately, it wasn't enough. We had to, just accept that, well, it's one of those things, and just let it be. So, Ron, what do you have to say about this? What's your take on this, please?
You already know my answer.
let me ask you. Because...
Let me say it in broken, in our native broken. No, okay, let me say it properly. It is not enough to keep telling somebody you love the person with. You need to show it. You need to not necessarily express it. Your action is love. And love, like I told you, is hard work. Love does not, like all those things you see and you believe, you feel, they're just infatuations. The true love is the test. How, if the person you are loving breaks her legs or loses an arm, are you still going to be there? Will you be there for the person? If the whole world tells you don't marry this person and the person goes ahead, will you still go ahead to marry that person? It is what you do that determines the love. It's not about saying it or buying chocolate or taking nice big photos or traveling around the world. It's doing it. What have you done to show the world that this is love?
Oh, Liz has gone. Liz, thank you for your contribution. Please come back.
So what have you done? What have you done to show the world that you really truly love this person? Like what it's true love is always tested when the other person is down. That's
okay,
for
but
me. When the person is down, Like if the person has a strange ailment or loses his job or she, just what is that thing you've done to show true love? It's not just saying he loves me, I don't love her. I don't. Well, some people believe in those things, but
what I'm saying is, because the question I got, the person was a bit sarcastic. Thank you very much for your sarcasm. I caught it, don't worry. But the person is like, oh, you said you and this your ex-fiance loved each other. So why didn't it end in marriage?
okay, see, it's double-edged for me. One, this is again, it's my belief, or I'm not generalizing for other people.
Mm-hmm.
If you are dating and you find out that there's a problem, okay, this is going to make it personal.
Go on.
Why you not carried away? Okay. If you are dating or you're courting, and there's an external force working, militating against it, you really need to, because you know why? You know why we have to wait. You know why we have to put it in context? We don't want to create the impression that the guy just woke up and ran away. He didn't just wake up and run away.
He woke up and ran away. But technically, that's what happened. He woke up and ran away.
No, that's not fair. He didn't just wake up and run away. Let's put everything. He's not a crazy person. He's not a crazy person. He didn't just get up and run away. He too must have been under pressure at some point. Okay, can I pass in this one because it's becoming too?
No. You're actually on point. Continue. You're on point. I'm just laughing. You're on point. Continue.
Now, if I say I want to marry somebody, on the one side, if I say I'm to marry somebody and I get opposition from the mother, the father, the siblings, automatically for me it's a no. Don't even waste your time. Don't even proceed because what you see ahead. On the other side, if to show true love and you really, really know you want this person, if you are the man and you are willing to humble yourself before that family to win them over, my dear, that is major love things. So that's the guy who humbled himself, won the soul of the father, the mother, and the siblings that hated him before. No, there's nothing you want to tell me. The person has passed stage one. Because then for me, if you come and meet me, I want to marry somebody and the mother doesn't like me or the father doesn't like, automatically I just say, just turn to your right and move to the other way. Simple. Because there are people who went ahead, they are still suffering in marriages today now.
But there are people who went ahead and eventually, because now there's no prospect of, because for some people, I think this is the thing, for some people, they will continue to resist as long as they're not married. So I can continue to resist until hopefully somebody else comes that I feel is more suitable, and then it didn't work. But when a couple go against, they know, they believe with all of their heart they're meant to be together, and they go against the people that are opposing their union, and they come together. Sometimes that is what ends the argument, because okay, they're married. What else can we do? They're married.
They're still going to torment the other person. They'll keep tormenting. I know people who are still being tormented. It doesn't fade away. That's why I said it's better to win them over than for you to charge through. If you win them over, it involves humility. Okay, I know you don't like me. What do you people really want? I want your son. I want your daughter. I cannot sleep without your daughter. Just tell me, what do you want me to do?
If they're doing it 5 years and they are still like, no, so you continue to.
Some people are always unreasonable. Not everybody is reasonable.
And so that's what I'm saying. When you realize that there's a certain level of unreasonableness inside the whole thing, I personally think that's the time to be like, you know what? It's our lives at the end of the day. We are just honoring you and saying, come and join us in this journey. And if all your reasons are totally unreasonable. Totally unreasonable. There is no genuine, real reason. Because I remember one time when I used to go to Fountain of Life, and in the marriage marriage counseling thing, they used to like get singles meeting come to, and someone actually asked that question. And I remember the Pastor Bimbo of blessed memory saying that, look, if you've looked through every reason, like, okay, why don't you like this person? And the person is Igbo. The person is short. He's yellow. Like, are you for real? Please move. you know, like your reasons are not, they don't make any sense. Please go away. So what has the person's skin color got to do with anything? Or what has the person's height got to do with anything? It's got nothing to do with the. So in those situations, the premise, the conclusion was, go and do what you want to do.
Okay, I know of situations whereby a man comes to the family and say, "Oh, I want to marry." Let's say it's somebody from one tribe that doesn't like the other tribe. And say, are you married from this tribe? I'm not going to allow my daughter or my son to marry from this place. They've not met the person one-on-one. Then eventually the man takes or the lady takes the effort to even go and meet these people and say, this is your child. I cannot live without this your child. Or what must I? Okay, just like what I said earlier. But in this case now, if you try, you humble yourself, you do everything you have to do, and at the end of the day, they don't budge. For them not to even budge at that level, I don't think it's a wise decision to go on. Because, like I just mentioned earlier, even when you get into it, you are still going to face unnecessary, ridiculous challenges. Like everything you do becomes a problem. They'll just come and visit you. Oh, so this is the kind of wife you're marrying. She doesn't know how to cook. This is the kind of wife you're marrying. She doesn't wash your clothes. So he gives the clothes to the nanny. This is the kind of wife, she puts salt in your food. And if it's somebody they love, they won't go through that stress to rubbish the other person. It just shows you that they don't want that person. And again, I keep saying that this marriage thing is not about two people. Like, people who go ahead and say, let's forget them and go ahead. It's when you go ahead, you realize that marriage is not just about two people. But before you go, you assume two of you just sit down in one corner and be loving yourselves. It's not that simple. It's complicated.
I'm actually thinking about a couple of famous people who have been married. I don't want to say their names because at the end of the day, it's a private story. But they're actually like a celebrity couple, and the family vehemently did not want. Okay, someone's joining us, Chit Chatter. Thank you so much, Chit Chatter. I'm adding you on. And the topic we're talking about is, how do you know that the person you're with loves you? And before you join us, please, I just want to say to the people who are sending me private messages, please, 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 I appreciate that you want to talk to me. I'm finding it a bit distracting. Can you just do me a favor and come onto StreamYard, join us on the link and send me your messages? I really, really would appreciate it that way. Then all of us can come together and talk. So if there's anything that's annoying you about what we are discussing, or something that let us, this is why all views are welcome. All views are welcome, and we try to be, to try to not offend anybody, but we are human. We will offend ourselves. I even have offended Ron just now. So let's come. Let's be coming down with people.
There's nothing like a silly opinion. Everybody just come. Let's just don't.
Yes. So even if you think an opinion is annoying you, come and say it's annoying you. Then we will rectify it. Please.
Let's bring the.
So Chit Chatter MS. Thank you for joining us. The topic again is, how do you know if the one you're with loves you? So please, what are your thoughts? Hello?
It depends on the love language of the individual.
Hey, it's deep voice. Hello!
Me too, I have my own Barry White voice.
I beg you. So what's your name, Chit Chatter?
My name is Kayode.
Oh, so it's PK that you are using Mago. You're using Mago ways to join. No problem. Okay, so please tell us your views. Thank you.
That's completely. It's the love language of the receiver of that love that determines if the person interprets the action as love. So if somebody's love language is receiving gifts, and you're there spending quality time, and if that's not their love language, they're just gonna see that you like to talk, you don't have any action. But if somebody's love language is quality time, and you think that, oh, let me buy you this or let me buy you that gift, the person is going to be like, that's the kind of person that will say, I need your time, not all these gifts. Somebody wanted, let me buy you this plate, and I said, let me buy you this. I was like, don't buy me nothing, because at that point in time I was very upset about something. The last thing for me personally is gifts as love language. So it was the wrongest thing the person could have been offering at that point in time. So it depends on the love language of the individual, and that's the thing. You just have to speak the language of the person you're trying to reach, not your own language, the other person's language.
So basically, hey, God, if it's going to think I don't want to add them, I'm so sorry, PK. If is trying to join, but I don't know what's going on. There are certain people, when they come on, I click on to say add to stream, and it doesn't allow me to add them.
You have to put on their cameras and their mic on. And
oh, okay. Epe, can you please turn on your camera and your mic, and then hopefully I'll be able to add you on, please? So, PK, you heard what Ron and I were talking about earlier, about if a person's family says, you know what, this person that you're dating or this person you're planning to get married to, we don't like them. Sam, we are not interested. We don't want to know. We don't want this person. And that's that. And when you ask and you investigate, what is the reason why you don't like this person? He's short. He's yellow. You know, like, are you serious? And they are really dead serious about it. That's the reason, and they are not interested in sanctioning that relationship. What's the way forward?
Well, I think it depends on how attached you are to the voices that are saying this. And what I mean by attached is, if these voices, you know, the authority figures in your life, if you still depend on them, first of all, for one of your basic needs of life or the other, then it becomes very difficult for you actually not to follow their instructions. So that's one level of attachment. So some people are still dependent on the authority figures of their life in order to be able to meet their basic needs of life. Still, they say they want to get married. May not make sense to you, but that's just how it is. When those kind of people say they don't want something, that not wanting something has a lot of weight on you.
But because it's difficult to tell the person feeding you that I don't care what you do.
You actually don't have a choice. It's the same way your employer can tell you to wake up against your will and show up at work. You are dependent on your employer at that point in time for your most basic need of life, which is being able to pay your bills. And so your employer can tell you you can't even wear your best dress to work. Your employer can tell you can't be your normal self at work. And for as long as you want your employer to keep giving you that basic need, you have to follow your employer's rules, even if it doesn't make sense to you. But the same thing comes to any other major decision of your life. You do not have the independence to do whatever you like if you are dependent on a certain individual or institution or authority figures for basic needs of life. If you flip that over, where let's say at a certain stage, you are the one who is actually paying for all of them, their own basic needs, it becomes more difficult for them to tell you, we don't like that person because he is short, tall, black, fair, whatever. Because whether they like it or not, at that point in time, if you are the one meeting their basic needs, they are also now very, very careful about breaking that basic need, no matter the age difference, no matter what it is. So whoever has that balance of power has the most of actually has a viewpoint that is usually heavily weighted.
Sorry, I just want to clarify something. So it's not just a case of, oh, okay. So that's why we have cases of where a man who is like the breadwinner of his family, he is successful, and his sisters and his mother, or some of his relatives just don't like any girlfriend he has. They always have a reason to. There's always something wrong. Because he's the one basically taking care of them, taking care of their needs and everything. And so his act is basically a very selfish act, isn't it?
A lot of times, yes, but sometimes no.
Okay.
So, for example, our own African credit check or our African check, right, used to be that when you say you wanted to get married to somebody, they will investigate the family. What that means is if they find, in those days, if they found any issues of mental health issues, for example, within a family, most families in Africa, Nigeria in particular, will actually say, no, you cannot marry that person, even though the person might be exceptionally brilliant, exceptional, all that. But usually those kind of reasons.
I don't know what's happened to your.
Hold on a minute. Let me.
Hello.
Hello. Hold on.
Hello. Aha. Thank you. Sorry.
A call was trying to interrupt me.
Okay.
So usually, and somehow I've lost the volume I had, right?
Usually, I can hear you properly now. Yes.
Okay, you can hear me good. So usually that used to be the kind of extended family checks that used to go on. They used to do all sorts of background checks on an individual's family before they say yes or no. Then also remember, there was also, you cannot marry from this part of our country too, was another thing. Of course, everything has in this particular instance, our culture counts against us sometimes, but counts for us most times, right? So that's like a double-edged sword, because at different times they'll say you can't marry from this side because they've just taken the whole all of one particular location, and they have interpreted all their behavior based off of their experiences with 1, 2, 3 individuals. And they will say, oh, people from that place they will just generalize. Very wrong, but it was just a basic instinct of life. So it is left to the individual to actually, I think you should always try to listen, and then you have to let them present their case. And if their case makes sense, you can consider it. But it should not be an all no, I will not consider any of the things you guys say. Neither should it be all yes, whatever you say is final. So it's the individual who actually makes that choice, because you live with your own mistakes and the effects of those mistakes. It's yours to own. And sometimes mistakes are necessary for you to grow. Actually, did I say sometimes? All the time, mistakes are necessary for you to grow. You can't get anywhere in life without making mistakes on the way to getting there.
Okay, so Ronald, what do you say to this? Because that's a bit different from your take.
In a way, I
Sorry,
agree with
okay. Go on.
in a way, before I even made my own statement, I said it's a very complex issue. I was just giving an easy way out. The easy way out I was giving was, if you sense danger, just run. Again, in addition to what he says, there are other things that can be very, very serious, like issue of genotypes. I don't know. I don't know. Where the man has AS, the lady has AS. Now, this has nothing to do with personal dislike or hate or whatever. It's just that medically, you are most likely to produce something that will create problems for you, a sickle cell child. Now, this is not to say that there are not sickle cell people who have lived long or existing, but the point is this: if you know you can avoid it at all costs. It's not easy to manage a sickle child with an SS condition. It's really, really draining. It's not easy. And I remember while growing up, they say once you manage the child and the child manages to hit 30, 35, then nothing will happen to the person. I really don't have a good answer to that, but I can tell you that I'm just coming from the
That's
medical
not
perspective.
true.
I don't know. Some people say that. So, but I'm just coming
It's
from the
not true. I can tell you it is not true.
okay, I don't know. Well, but all I can tell you is that at the end of the day, it's just you can't push ahead and claim love when something like that has been revealed to you. You just can't push ahead. Or you find out that they have this hereditary terminal, apart from sickle cell, other forms of terminal illness, that that you can verify that it's jumping from generation to generation, or maybe longevity or something. It's not like you're assuming, it's confirmed. It's going to be really,
All
really,
right.
really.
If you can hear me, can you push me out completely so that I can try and come back in?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Let me wait for him, then I'll repeat myself.
Okay, yes. Let's wait for him. It's interesting. Something else he said about, that somebody loving you according to your love language. That's what, because for me, when I was ill and my ex was with me and he was taking care of me, for me, that was the ultimate, because one thing I always say is that I always say attracts me more than a person's face or their status or their money is their heart, the generosity of spirit. That is this person really kind? Is this person really thoughtful? So I'm just adding. I've added you back, Kayode. Can you hear us properly now? So like for me, that was like, yes, I'm being loved here. Okay. Oh, I've got Adeyera Adeni from Facebook. Thankful. Yes, please be joining us from Facebook saying hi. So yes, thank you very much. Hi to you too. Please come and join us and actually, give your comments. Even if you just want to type your comments, type it. We will read it out. So let's do that.
I can
Going
see
back to
Monye,
what
but
I
I
was
can't see
Oh,
Abi.
can you hear us now? Because we can hear you. Okay, anyway, so if he had been bringing gifts for me, bringing me gifts, but
Yeah,
not being
so sorry,
around the house.
I'm really sorry. Actually, my internet is not very stable here. I'm in Lagos, actually. I'm trying to do this.
Help us greet all the Lagosians, though.
Yes,
Even me that I'm in Bolton, my internet is not well because we had so much trouble earlier. So it can happen to anybody.
yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Kayode who?
It's PK now.
Atobatele.
Okay.
That's what I say. PK is PK.
Okay.
So can you hear Ronald now?
Hello?
Yeah, but it breaks up. So just when you just very clear. But then it's still breaking up. It's like it freezes, then it comes out, and then it freezes again.
All right.
Okay.
Welcome to doing this kind of show from Lagos. Yeah.
We will try our best to be accommodating. So sorry about that. Okay, Ronald, do you want to?
All right.
Okay, so let me repeat what I was saying. So I was supporting because based on you can't join two people when they have this issue of what they call it genotypes, incompatible genotypes. Like you can have an AS or SS, marrying AS or SS. It's not going to work because you know you're going to do a lot of hard work. What if the only one child you have is an SS child, or you end up having two SS children? In and all that, and from the day that child is born to adulthood, you're still going to be running around trying to make sure you sort out and all that. So the best approach is just to avoid such a scenario. Also, if after the investigation before marriage they come up with issues like mental health, terminal diseases that is proven that is within the family that it actually exists, and that's they can prove it that it moved from generation to generation. I don't think it's wise to complicate issues further, and go into such a situation. Again, love is not everything. Love is not enough. Love is just not enough. And to start that kind of journey, you have to get into it and prove the love while you are in the relationship or marriage. So that's just
Okay,
what I contributed.
I accept about when you have serious health complications, but and you and I, Ronald, we know of a situation like this. I don't know what's going on with my tablet. It's simply refusing to. I don't know what's going on. Forgive me.
I mean,
So
the hereditary, not serious, as in you're seeing it now. Something that's been coming from generations. That's what I mean.
yeah,
Not
I'm even talking about a case where you and I both know where the reason for the refusal is nothing other than I don't like the color of the person's skin. Not, and this is not even white to black. This is two black people, but apparently the person is yellow,
yeah,
and
but
I don't like.
but
So what do you say? What do you say to that?
back home there are some states. Let me not even go too far. There are some local governments in Nigeria that one local government in the same state, oh, one local government cannot. Somebody from this local government is forbidden to marry somebody from the next. I'm not even talking about countrywide now. I'm talking within the same state. The same state. You can't. People will hate. People have their mind set. But like I said, if you as the suitor, you're willing to humble yourself and educate them and win them over, then it's a plus. It's a big plus. If just imagine a Christian guy going to the north saying he wants to marry a Muslim, then they say, "Oh, we'll kill you." Then at the end of the day, he wins them over, and they come en masse to witness the marriage and all that. My dear, that's a win-win situation.
But what about what PK said about sometimes is about the person of influence, that the rejection is based about the influence the person exerts
Huh?
is
Some people's hatred knows no class or social strata. We just don't want it, period. If you like bringing your billions, and they can even chop the billions and still be bad mouthing you somewhere. They don't care. They just don't want their bloodline to them. It's all about bloodline. We don't want any of our grandchildren to have anything to do with these people. That's the way their minds. That's the way they are wired. They just don't want it. What do you do about that situation? Are you going to start fighting everybody?
Oh, so that then don't you it I'm like then you remove yourself from it now.
You move on.
Right,
You look for another person.
PK, sorry, what were you saying?
There is a cost also, right? You see, if we go back in time. I'm so sorry. Can you hear me well, or
That's all right. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, you can hear me. So I was going to say that if people strictly followed the rules or the advice based off of family, you do realize that somewhere like in Abiola's family, they would have referred to them as Abiku, because Abiola was the only child who was remaining.
Yeah.
right? And based off of that, some families would have said, no, don't marry, don't marry from that family. Meanwhile, he, being the only surviving child at a point in time, just reproduced a whole bunch of a whole new generation of
Yes,
Abiolas.
now
Yeah.
And
he's trying to
He
make
made up.
and
He made up for everybody.
yes, but then that's what I'm trying to say is that somebody might have been told you can't marry him because he comes from that family, and in the process, somebody would have blocked maybe true love from becoming, the wife of one of the most influential people in Nigeria till date, whose name Kyrie has a lot of reference, right, or history. What I'm trying to say is that even with those flaws that we say you can't marry because of this, right? You actually miss out on an adventure of life that you can never know where to get, right? And and in hindsight, right? Are you still hearing me?
yes,
We
yes,
can
yes,
hear you.
Okay.
very
And
well.
in hindsight, you realize that if all you need to really know is that, okay, here is a possible scenario that can occur. If you have that information, you can still decide that I will take a risk and share my life with this individual, even though I know that this is a possibility.
Yeah, because life is a risk at the end of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, we're not justifying these people who are not tolerant. We're just saying that there are people like that.
Yes. Yes.
They do exist.
Yeah.
What I have noticed a lot. Well, not a lot, but a few people that the most brilliant minds I met as a younger person that later on in life seem to have slight mental health issues. When I say mental health issues, it doesn't mean that they've lost their mind. It means that they need to get a little bit of help, therapy and meds later on. So, for example, there are some that have an overactive mind. And what I mean by that is that while you can settle down and just sleep off, their mind is just running so fast that they find it very difficult to calm it down to sleep. But these same people, right, when you look into their lives, they're near geniuses in life. Basically, they grasp things very quickly. They are top of their class, but yet they need that help on the other side to do things that will come to the average person normally. So what I'm trying to say is that in you avoiding in quote the abnormal, you also avoid the thing that can propel
The
your life
phenomenal.
to an area where you will make history or your name will be written in the sands of time.
Wow.
It's a
I
double-edged
love
sword
that.
sometimes that you are running from it, right? Could also mean that you'll end up being less than ordinary throughout your life.
In fact,
So I think that the important thing is for somebody to look at everything and say, yes, I still choose to share my life with this person in spite of all that. Some will tell you that, oh, that family, they don't usually have children or they struggle to have kids. You might struggle to have one or two or none. But then you look at them and the love that they experience in that place is like, it's just so evident, so radiant that everybody around them always wants to be around them because they just have something that is so right. So everybody has a package, basically, is what it is at the end of the day. And just because you think your own package is good now because you can see this, just wait, just keep living. When yours unfolds, you start to realize that you don't want any other person's own but yours.
That's
now,
true.
now that you mentioned it, now that you mentioned it, there's something I want to add to what you said. You know what you said. I'm Igbo from the Igbo land. From the ancient time, there are people they call the Osu people, right? In the ancient times, they used to be slaves or people they dedicate to the shrine and all that. So the Igbos, for generations to generations, have always discriminated against them. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in this modern time, let's say in the last 100 years, it's so turned out that among the most successful Igbos are always these people. These people that are discriminated against. Because you bring somebody to your home, your family say, Is this one Anosu? Is that say yes? Ah, no, no, no. Ah, my child cannot marry Anosu. Guess what? All the big Igbo names you are hearing in Nigeria, they are most of them are of Osu. There's
There you go.
billionaires, top politicians, they are all Osus. It's only of recently, was it last year or 2 years ago, that some Igbo society started abolishing that caste system? So, but it goes to buttress what okay, Kayode is saying, that
Yeah.
things actually do happen. They
Yeah,
do.
in fact, I've been running this quote in my head since he said, in the bid to avoid the abnormal, you miss out on the phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we don't want this because if we go by the standard of mental health, then I am totally unsuitable for anybody. But I know for a fact that anyone who hitches their ride with me has hitched their ride onto an amazing thing. But that's what I know.
You don't qualify.
So anybody who, basically, just think of it, almost all the people you know in Hollywood that have done major things actually have mental health issues also, along with that creativity. The creative genius actually seems to actually have it basically seems to, you find it a lot within the creative genius,
Yes,
the
they said
mental
that
health issue,
in every
right?
genius, there's always that craziness. There's always that element of craziness in every genius. If you look
Yeah.
close enough, there's always that
Yeah.
craziness factor. I think that's what makes them stand out. I'm not saying that.
It's like so I
Not
the way I explain it, I say
this afternoon.
no, the way I usually explain it, I usually say that it is
I know.
a blessing. It is a blessing that is also the biggest curse of
Yeah.
individuals.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Right?
very scary. It's very lonely.
So you revenged because of the crazy joke, Abi? That's what it's all about.
I was saying because Ron was making a joke today and he called me crazy. So you see, I'm a genius.
Yeah, very, very, very close. It's just the way the brain is wired. It allows for a lot of innovation, which means thinking outside the box, but then it just means that you don't fall within, in quotes, under the bell curve, right? Under that curve. But the people on the outer parts of it are also the people who have moved the whole world forward.
Mm-hmm.
The whole world. If you check it right now, probably that whole, if you check the people who actually brought out the COVID vaccination that saved the whole world, I will not be surprised if they're around that whole genius level, if they have mental health issues on the flip side of when their overactive mind needs to now calm down.
I wouldn't call myself a genius like that, but I do know that I have a lot of creativity. And
geniuses
I
do
know
not refer to themselves as geniuses.
That's why I did say I'm a genius. I did not say I was a genius. Calm down. Let's not be coming down. But this
actually,
I
was agreeing with you. I was agreeing with you that a genius usually will hardly ever refer to themselves as genius. It's other people that say what you're doing that you think is normal is actually abnormal.
Please don't agree with that. No problems. But just telling you, agree with that.
But the thing is, a lot of people who have spoken to me after I turned maybe 35. Oh, I'm sort of giving out my age, but it doesn't matter. People have spoken to me after said, "Oh, you know what? Now that I know you, now that I've seen you and talked with you and everything, I just realized that you were actually very misunderstood. You were just misunderstood. You saw the world differently, and it was difficult to understand. So you were misunderstood, and that's why people didn't really, like because for a very, very long time I was called a weirdo. It was said to my face, it was said behind my back that, oh, that one, she's a weirdo, Joe. And
and that's because you don't fall under the curve of what is considered normal, which is where most people fall. But that's the thing, we must not, in the process of finding people who don't fall under the curve, basically say that something is wrong with them. Yeah, something is not. So when we say something is wrong, it's not something is wrong. Something is different about someone, and that's
Something is
okay,
different. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because
That's the
without
thing. That really is it. It's okay for something to be different about somebody. You must be able to relate with that and then allow that person be, because that person's mindset that is different is what will save you and your unborn children
yeah,
eventually.
because without those people, we won't have enough inventions, dynamic lifestyle, and all that.
We won't
Everything
have technology. We won't have the many things.
Exactly.
is sorry.
Samuel, please, can you put on your camera or your microphone? I can't add you unless you do that, please. Thank you. Because I've got someone else who wants to join us, but they need to put on their camera or their microphone. It won't let me add. Thank you very much. Yes, now I'm adding you to the stream. Thank you very much for joining us, Samuel. And the question is, how do you know if the one you're with loves you? Although we've segued into a different aspect of conversation, but if you've been listening to us or you want to address the topic itself, please feel free.
Okay, it's a good topic. I must say, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Um, One, you must be very, very objective. You must tell yourself the truth. You understand?
Mm.
To know if someone you're with loves you, for me, if I'm dating you and you're not proud of me, it's just that's a very a sure way for me to know that this person is not into me. This person does not love me. Okay. There are certain things when I want to play with you, we could just be, discussing or something or catching fun and all that. And you just get easily irritated over little things. It's a sure way for me to know that there's a problem somewhere. Yeah. And if maybe we want to hang out and all that, and each time I want you to go out with me or something, there's always this excuse here and there. Give 1,001 reasons why you can't make it. That's another way for me to know that it's a no. This person does not love me. Okay, so I'm just trying to be pragmatic here. I don't know how it works for you, but for me, when I see these signs, I just know that I have to go. I just have to leave this place. I'm not in the right place.
Okay, can I?
Am I?
Okay, let me quickly ask him a question.
Yeah.
What in a situation? Maybe let's say it's a guy now. The lady keeps telling him that iron your shirt if we're going out, or make sure you wear deodorant or brush it. Smell nice if we're going to an outing. And the guy consistently ignores all these signs and code and all that. And the lady is also, you know what, this guy cannot change. Let me just manage him and put him to the box. Don't you think it happens in this situation sometimes?
Emmanuel?
Hello? Emmanuel?
Yeah, hello. Hello, I'm here.
Did you hear what I said just now?
Question?
No, I didn't.
Okay, let me repeat myself. I said, let's say a lady is dating a guy, and the guy is always looking unkept. So she's always like, iron your shirt, spray a little bit of cologne to smell nice, so to keep your body odor, brush your teeth, comb your hair when we're going out. And this guy, because he's stubborn, continuously ignores all these cues and signs. Then the woman decides, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this. I'll just totally avoid problems and just move on. Don't you think it also contribute to this problem?
Okay, the thing is, it depends on who you are dating. For me, it's just a sign that this person cares about me, and I just have to adjust. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, see, for a relationship there must be sincerity of purpose.
Yes.
there must be sincerity of purpose. If there is sincerity of purpose, there's no problem with that. If someone I'm dating cannot tell me the truth, if someone I'm dating cannot tell me the truth, who will?
You know why I brought
understand?
this? You know why I brought this up? Years back, I
Yeah.
had these friends. I had this couple, they are my friends. We always go out with our wives, like we go out with our wives. But this particular guy never brings the wife to all these events and all that. So one day I had to call him aside. I was like, why are you always locking up madam? He said, no, I don't want to bring this village woman to our garden to come and disgrace me. Just leave her there. You know, that kind of thing. So he's telling us, he has been telling her, but she's stubborn. She doesn't listen. So in order to avoid conflict or unnecessary tension in his house, he rather just treats her like, you know, just place her in one corner and just start doing his own thing.
Yeah, but does it mean that guy didn't observe all of that when they were dating?
Dating and marriage. Oh, you were not there when we discussed dating and marriage. Oh, okay. Welcome to the club. Once you enter church, listen. Right now,
according to Ron, once that ring enters your finger, what do you
write it down? The day 10 years. The day you say I do, and you go to from that reception hall, that you start seeing a Twitter, one demon will just possess everybody.
Are you
yes, now.
No, but the truth is, I still believe that I'm not married though, but I still believe that if only you are not carried away by fantasies, if only you pay attention to details, if only you tell yourself the truth. At times you see this girl looking so beautiful, you know, your spec and all that, but then your peace of mind should be number one factor. For me, peace of mind first. I tell myself the truth, guy. I always tell myself the truth. It's not about being too choosy or all that, but at the same time,
like this is a bait. All that thing you're saying is a bait to catch you. Once you've been caught.
wait. Let's ask PK. Can you address this very quickly, because you've been down there? Is it true that as soon as the vows are said and the rings are exchanged and they say, oh, we now pronounce the newest couple a demon possessed? A demon possesses the two people.
Wow.
Is it true?
That demon must be dealt with.
In fact, we cast our minds. What nonsense.
That demon has to be dealt with.
PK, what did you say?
Just when they mention my name now, the whole thing freezes. I can hear you. Okay, good. So here's the thing I've realized about, you see, once you sign a contract, right, and the contract basically says this is for life, nobody gets out of this, it actually makes people's behaviors change.
Hey,
all the time.
I'm scared.
For any contract.
You've heard it. You've heard
right?
it.
Now, the reason why we behave the way we behave, that we call professionalism at work, is because that contract can be terminated if you don't keep that level of, in quote, professionalism. So you show up every day, dropping every other emotions and just sticking with what is called professionalism. When it comes to the marriage contract basically says it is for life. It also says you cannot even test drive the thing you are signing for before. It says that when you get home and you discover that what you thought it was is not what it is, that you stay with it for the rest of your life. Marriage contract, actually, if you think about it, it just gives one individual a license to do as they like forever. That has an effect on the way people behave and the way they show up.
That's powerful.
Now, the marriage
very
contract
powerful. From
this guy, I need to pay my tithe to this guy. I just need to pay my tithe to
Emmanuel,
Oh my God.
Emmanuel, we're not saying this to scare you or anybody. We're not
I
scaring
am
you.
scared already.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't be scared. The whole idea, the reason why we bring these things to the fore is for you to know what you are getting into.
Yeah, that's true.
The reason why we're telling you is that
okay, sorry, he's come on again.
That when you're able to reason like that. Sorry, when you're able to reason like that, right? Well, once you understand that this thing is for life and that you're not supposed to return it, then it means also that you should have all the conversations ahead of time, right?
Correct.
That don't leave anything on that. That period of courtship. That period of courtship is not meant for you to be hiding. It's meant for you to say, "Look, this is who I am." Right? Take me like this, or this is what you will see. I am flawed. You see, the problem is that a lot of people hide all their flaws. They think that's what you're supposed to do for the period of courtship. So they hide all their flaws, then they start to now release it as soon as a contract is signed. It's deception. Men and women are guilty of it.
Ask a question. Sorry, I want to ask you a question because I have been I have met up with people and started dating them, but we had to end the dating because, like me, you know who I am. I basically say, look, this is what's going on. This is the kind of person I am. Blah blah blah. This is the kind of things to expect. And within the 6th, 7th date, the person is going, I've never met anybody like you. They're just telling me everything. I'm used to people, hiding stuff, but it's like you just call it's too much. And I've even had girlfriends tell me off for being honest and saying, no, you're exposing too much. You shouldn't give all this information about yourself. But I'm like, but what's the point? And I don't know. I don't know because I don't see the point of hiding.
That's why you fall under the, that's why you're not under the normal curve, right? See? So because you are basically saying, look, this is me 100%, right? Now, if what they are saying is the way you present the information is too scary at the beginning, that's okay to adjust that, but at least to make sure that you present the whole thing, because it's also good that, for example, even at work, right? When you give feedback to somebody, you must be able to say, look, you are doing this thing and it's amazing. This part is really good. Then you can now throw in something that needs adjustment. You will see that that person is likely to receive the whole message very well, as opposed to you didn't do correct. A, you didn't do B, you didn't do C, right? But even when we talk to our spouses or our partners, our girlfriends, our boyfriends, right? When you're giving feedback, you must say that when you do this, it blows my mind all the time. So you start with that. Then you can now say, however, those dishes that you always leave in the sink, right? If you can just, if you can just do it, you will be like 110. You're already at 100.
Why you try to insult me? I don't like it.
So when you're able to combine that, and the person knows that you did not make up the good parts, the person knows that, yes, this one, even me, I know that I'm good at that, then they're likely to receive that feedback better. So how to deliver the message that this is the whole me is important, right? It's really, really important. The person that I told that I'm a bigamist, will turn around, come back, and still is, still my favorite. What I'm trying to say is that the person that he loves me because of the complete thing that they see. So they can see that, okay, he's good here, he's flawed. And based off of that, it's like, I still like him like that, or I still love her like that.
PK, that's why I love you, because I'm every woman you want to marry. You see that your bigamist is not a problem, because I'm every woman.
There's something he just said now. There's something he said now. I want to compliment what he just said. Emmanuel, I see that.
He's
Emmanuel,
shaking in his shoes.
Emmanuel, snap out of it. Emmanuel.
Emmanuel he's coiled up in a corner in his room, crying and hitting his head.
Emmanuel, it's not that bad now.
Emmanuel, come out. Don't worry, it's a safe space.
Okay, let me say.
Don't worry. You're not the only single person. Me too, I'm single and I'm scared out of my mind. It is fine.
We don't say this. Okay, we don't say this to scare people. It's not to scare potential couples. That's not the point. You know, over recent in the last few years, we have marriage counseling teams that keep deceiving potential couples by telling them that, oh, once you get married, everything will be fine, blah blah blah. You know, this kind of stuff. Well, sometimes it's fine, but it's not always the case. I rather that you place the person in a position where he expects tough work to be done than for you to make him feel at home and walking into danger. It's better he walks in prepared and there's no danger, then it's fine. He goes in alarmed. And for him to go walk in sleeping, then the slightest tension he receives, he switches off.
In fact, if you are dating somebody and you don't know the person's flaws, they say, what's this person's flaw? And you're like, no, they have no flaw. Then you don't really know the person.
That's true.
And a lot of people like that. They don't know the person. They just don't know the person. What's the flaw? You now be saying, doesn't smile all the time. No, you don't know the person's flaws. That means you really still don't know the person that you're signing up with and you want to sign a life contract.
Right on, sir.
And depending on how the thing goes, some people will not even talk about sex at all. Somebody is entering a relationship with very high libido, while the other person has very low libido, and they expect that the thing will work, and that everybody should now be faithful, loyal, and honest to each other.
It happens all the time. That's in fact that happens all the time, especially people who are cutting from church.
That's actually why I went there, because they are the ones who will say you must not test drive. Just when you reach house, whatever you discover after you sign the life contract is yours to keep for the rest of your life.
Ha!
Yeah, that's what people are saying when they sign those things.
You know why I'm laughing? I want to. Okay, no, let me not say it.
Oh, go there.
I actually didn't test drive the car. I was one of the few people who became lucky. And so I don't advise anybody to this. I'm one of that.
So that's a game of luck.
And mine was luck, pure luck. I'm not even maybe God had something to play with it. But I'm not going to tell as a Christian, I should tell everybody.
Yeah, it's very difficult actually. But,
it's difficult. I know a lot of people who went the same route I went and came out damaged.
Not just that, but some people are living with frustration there because they are trying to keep to the vow they made, right? For the rest of your life that you live with this, and so basically they're frustrated from day one. For those kind of people, you just add a little couple of new flaws coming out, and they hit their limit very quickly, and you're wondering how come. There were other things that
that's why we have a lot of "Dear Joro, please hide my identity." All of those posts. That's why we have so many of them, because there are people who are trapped in the worst kind of situation, but because their religion, their faith, the culture, the environment, society has said, oh, once you bought this market, you cannot return it, you cannot change it, you cannot do anything, you're stuck with it. So you see people, and Pastor Bibo Dukoya said something. She said that your marriage, who you choose to hitch your wagon with in marriage, can either make or break you, can either send you to heaven or send you to hell, can either make you a happy person or a miserable person. It basically hardly has anything got so much influence on a person's life than, especially when within the faith context, they get hitched with someone and that person is completely the wrong person and there's nothing they can do about it.
And that's why you hear Monye say a lot of times that love has nothing to do with it.
That's
or,
love got
or,
to do.
or love is not enough to keep it.
Emmanuel, are you okay now? It seems you went to go and cry a little.
My dear, network is messing me up, but I'm here.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Ron, there was something you were saying before about testing the car. I missed.
Hello?
Ron, you were talking about testing.
The car has been driven away. We can't go back to it.
No, I said that in my own case, I was one of the very, very, very few, in fact, the 2% of people who did not test drive but ended up enjoying his car mileage, right? But at the same time, I'm not going to say everybody. Okay, I'm not going to.
As a reverend father in the Lord.
As a Christian, I'm not supposed to say test drive. So let me just end it there.
But let's be real. There are ways.
All right. I'm in spirit. I have been told not to share.
I've been told not to share personal things. I would have shared this personal thing because a very, very smart, super smart woman advised a certain young lady on ways that a person can discover without actually test driving if it is possible that the car at least has some potential. So I don't know if I can I Ron, what do you think? Should I share or I should keep quiet?
Please share.
You can't encode the
There's a higher law that I'm answering to.
The higher law. Otherwise, you'll see us here next week.
Exactly. If I don't obey this higher law, you'll see us here next week.
But the truth is, we shy away when it comes to our sexual life. We shy away from this. But I tell you, for me, I don't joke with it. A lot of moms today are going through all sorts of issues because of this. They can't even talk about it right now because.
Emmanuel, I'm happy you brought this up. I think we addressed this last week, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just give you a quick recap. The thing is this.
Okay.
When you have a problem with the sex life and marriage and all that, it has like Abi says I shouldn't be going back to ancient times, so I'm not going back beyond 100 years. But before human beings started having access to porn movies, porn comics, literature, or openly discussing these things publicly, anybody who married just go. Remember that back then, I'm not saying all women were virgins, so that's not what I'm trying to say, but you had a good number of them.
And men, there are men that are virgins too.
Yeah. You had a good number of them, people who went too exposed sexually before they got married. So when they come together on that level, they discover and they live with what they've discovered. Now, it's different from somebody that has very high expectations before getting married because it's been too much information. Too much information. He has driven different cars, Land Cruiser, Mercedes, truck.
I tell you.
Go into the one that test drive.
Then now the person comes into marriage and is expecting the other person to perform what he sees in porn movies. Bend your neck backwards.
But it's not everybody that watches porn. I mean, it's not everybody. But the thing is,
when I say porn, I'm not saying the movies per se. Maybe you could have gotten your ideas from.
Yes, that's a better way to say it.
There's also that thing of actually sort of knowing yourself better. Women are getting to know themselves better because for a long time, let me use one of your analogies, 100 years ago, women were just basically encouraged to lie down and think of their home countries when, you did not participate, you just laid there, the man did what he wanted to do, you told him, thank you, my lord, and that was that.
Female genital mutilation. Have you forgotten? Female genital mutilation.
Yeah. So and we also have they actively take away what would even encourage you to enjoy sex. So you just lie there. You it's like you tolerate it. You just tolerate it because, well, it's your duty, is what you had to do. So while yes, there might be that whole exposure and everything, but there's why it might to some people seem as a negative, but to many other people is a positive, because you know a lot of women now know what they want sexually. A lot of men know themselves, like, okay, this is what turns me on, this is what I like. So in fact, that whole thing of running around, and it's like the kid in the candy shop. If a kid already knows the kind of sweets that they like, if you release them in a candy shop, they most likely would just go towards what they like, because they have that knowledge. But if they don't have any idea, they're going to be running around stuffing their faces with all kinds of sweets and ending up with a tummy ache. So it's important that while we are saying, oh, you know, whatever it is with, you know, religious, whatever, about sexual purity, but it's also important to get people to actually sort of be honest with themselves about the things that happen. Morning wood, you know, many women don't even know what they look like down there. They have never seen it before. They don't have a clue. They don't know anything. So if something abnormal is even happening, which is why a lot of people even die, like a study has been done that for in a lot of ethnic minorities, the ovarian cancer rate is quite high, because the women there do not even want to have any business with down there. Just quickly wash it quickly and go. They don't want to know. But if you don't know what you are down there, how will you know when something is wrong? Same thing with men. When men don't, you know, you don't know that, oh, wait a minute, something is odd here, something is not right here, because, well, I don't want to know, it's your body. It's a beautiful part of your body, and you should know it. So while they're, you know, that whole, you know, we shouldn't go near there, but our diet has changed, our environment has changed, people are succumbing more to diseases and stuff like that. So it will be absolutely ignorant to be like, no, I don't want to know anything that's going on down there. That's my opinion. And we've moved away from our topic.
It's difficult to walk on a straight line.
Sorry?
It's difficult to walk on a straight line.
That's the thing.
So
very, very difficult.
Very difficult, because life is not straightforward. It's not. There's nothing that is straightforward.
That's why, for me, in recap, love is not enough. We need to see the love. It's not about just feeling it and be telling people that I saw her.
If you say love isn't enough, here's a question to you. Then where do we put the place of love languages?
Like I said,
love in action, isn't it?
Yeah, that's love in action. That's why I don't subscribe to love at first sight. I'm sorry to love at first sight, as I'm not saying everybody is stupid per se.
They wanted to people thought I was scolding you. They didn't know that I was reacting to the comments that I was getting with regards to what you said.
And he believes in love at first sight. He didn't want to be classified into that category. Anyway, so now that I've made peace with love at first sighters, it's this. It's in fact, we need to have these discussions. Jokes aside,
I tell you, very, very cute.
Very, very important. The Walt Disney period is over. It's clear. Now we are a new generation.
What did Disney do to you?
It's the one that invented love at first sight.
People must be aware of what they are going into.
People need to know what they are going. It's not a bed of
roses. You just have to know,
It's hard work. Marriage is not a joke.
Okay, can I tell you something? My dad fell in love with my mom at first sight.
That was their time. Knowledge has increased.
I bet go is 40 years ago.
I don't want
to 40 years ago. This thing you're talking, it was their time.
You think 10 years is child's play? You're talking of 40 years ago. That's a long time ago.
I'm not even going to tell you.
In this age of AI that
I've been trying to drag me into a hole. I'm not going with her.
Drag me I'm not saying it, no, because you know you were there. So I just was like, let me just put it out there that my dad saw my mom, and funny enough, my mom was not in the way that he had put in his head, because my dad didn't like women wearing makeup. He didn't like it. He didn't like, women wearing short dresses. And the very first time he saw my mom, she didn't only have makeup on, she had streaked makeup on because she had been sleeping, and she had a short dress on. But as soon as he saw her, he just said, "That's my wife." So, and Ron is like, "I am not getting involved in this conversation."
I did.
Okay,
That was
PK back. Hey, PK. You have a congregant in Emmanuel. He wants to pay his price to
you. The guy is on fire.
I don't know what's happened to Ron's, but he will join us back. I think something happened to his
internet. See this, then ignorance sustained a lot of marriages. Ignorance to so many things actually sustained, because imagine coming from a polygamous home now, where the man feels he's alpha and omega. You just come, your food is ready. You are not even providing anything, but you know that, okay, this one is going to cook today. This one is providing the whatever tomorrow and all that. And because of that time, because of the time in question, these women, they know this is my Lord. They see the husband is my Lord, is everything. I must do whatever I can, I have to do to satisfy him and all that. It's not the same with our generation. The women of this generation are much more aware of who they are. You don't try that with them. So, and this is why I strongly believe that marriage is not just for love. Is not enough. That all these I love you. You must be mentally ready to go into this thing. You must be. This is what I've told myself because of what I have seen over time, my experience over time. It's better I didn't go into it on time than for me to go into it, rush into it and rush out. Yeah. You understand?
So or rush into it and have to sit there.
We must have all the discussion. It's not as if there won't be challenges. There will definitely be challenges now. There will definitely be challenges, but let it be that we are aware of what we are going into. We understand this thing. We know that this is what we're going into. We have discussed. You know me inside out. I know you inside out. So when these challenges come, we'll be able to face them head on and address them. You understand? So I think that is one aspect that is missing today. People just see someone, I don't know, this is my spec. The next thing.
That spec language always makes me laugh. This is my spec. What do you mean this is your spec? It amuses me. PK, there's something that you shared with me some time ago, and I don't know if you'd like to share it on the forum because we have about 7 minutes left.
Okay.
PK, you talked about love languages. Would you please kindly share the different love languages with us so that when people look into those love languages, they can actually deduce whether they're being loved the way they want to be loved? Because it's not just about being loved, but it's about being loved the way you want or you need to be loved.
Yeah. All right. So first of all, there are 5 love. Well, it's a book that was written by somebody. He identified 5 love languages, right? I don't think that there are only 5, because when I just observed, I realized there was one extra one that doesn't make sense to me, but makes sense to the other person. So one is touch, right? And touch is, for the person who touches their love language, the need for you to touch them. And when I say touch, I'm not talking of sex. Every couple has sex. For the person who it is touch, they're the ones who cannot sit down alone and watch a movie if you are there. They want to put their head on you. They want their body to touch you. They will not sit on a different seat. They are coming to squeeze themselves on the seat where you are. Their love language is touch. If you pass them by, they expect that you will either hug them or even sometimes that nice smacking of the ass or whatever it is, right? That for the person who it is touched, that's important to them. You don't do it and they start to feel you don't love them. That's when it is touch. Touch is also the person who suddenly just get up from when they're here and just come and hug you, right? If you remember, there was one video of the lady, the guy was cooking, right? He was trying to
And
cook
she
her something.
practically climbed him like a tree.
Yes, yeah. So even though, and I saw people react to it, and I realized I understood what that girl was feeling, because my own primary love language is touch. She wanted touch, right? Yes. So people said she was extra, but the guy, his own love language is act of service. Act of service is, that's the person who is cooking. That's the person who is getting up and getting your stuff ready for you before you ask. Acts of service, right? So that's the one who is like, oh my goodness, have you eaten anything today? I'm bringing food to you. Acts of service. And you're like, this person loves me like crazy. Also, on the flip side, acts of service is the person, if they cook and you refuse to eat, you started a war, right? Acts of service. If acts of service is not your love language, if you like, eat. If you like, don't eat. It will be in the fridge. When you're ready, you go and eat it, right? But when it's acts of service, those are the ones that their heart is completely broken, that you did not acknowledge that act that they did to show that they love you. So that's acts of service. That then touch. Then quality time. The person that says, I don't want your gift. I just want to have a conversation with you. Sit down with me. Let's hold hands. Let's walk and talk. Right? That's quality time. They need quality time. Actually, you can do very well long distance relationships with somebody whose primary love language is quality time, because once you can video call every day, all is good, all is well. If quality time is their major thing. If somebody's love language is touch, it's not going to work for long. You can't do long distance because they need a touch every now and then, right? So that's the thing. Exactly. So, and people have combination of all this. No, some people have a lot of more than the other. Some people have almost the thing spread. If it's spread evenly, it means that any of these things will work on them or will be interpreted as love, right? So acts of service, quality time. Then you also have gifts. Now, for the person who it is gift, it is not that you propose with a Range Rover. It is the fact that when somebody talked about one book, that basically that book touched their lives, and then suddenly they open a present and it is that book that they talked about that is the gift. Touches them deeply, that this person cares so much about me, went and found me this gift and brought it. So there's an emotional connection to the gift that they get.
Yeah,
that's the person who it is gift, right? And then so what's the last one?
So we have touch,
sometimes I always
personal time, acts of service, gift.
Gift. What there's one. Let me see. Quality. Words of affirmation, right? So here's the thing. If you see somebody that when you insult them, the thing it peppers them, it is because words of affirmation is really important to them. On the flip side, that kind of person, anything you say that basically is positive about them, right, that they hear of, elevates your position in their heart.
Yeah.
Right? So they believe that you truly, truly love them. So those kind of people, if they do anything and you're able to say, you know what, thank you so much for this thing that you did, no matter how small it is, for that person, they are actively looking for something else to do for you, just so that they can get that compliment again. So and if you even this thing works for it works across the board. Even if you have a child and you observe the child and you look and you see the words of affirmation is important to that child, gift is not what the child wants. The child wants to hear, I am so proud of you. You don't know how it just makes me feel. That child will remember it. And will do everything to make sure that they never hear the words, you have let me down.
Yeah.
So words affect people who words of affirmation is their love language, affects them a lot. You say something positive about them, you move up in their radar. You say something negative about them, it looks like they can just not get over it. Right? It seems like they're unwilling to forgive, but that's because it hurts them deeply. So there's some people, they'll just shake whatever words come out of somebody's mouth. They'll shake it off because words of affirmation is not anything to them. You haven't gotten them under their skin. And that's the reason why people can get under the skin of their spouses or partners easily, because not realizing it, they figured out what exactly is their most important quality, and they use it against. Some do not realize what they use it against. When they use it, some use it for, but a lot of people use it against without realizing it. But if you study well, sometimes actually these days for me, close friends, I always give them the test first, because I just want to
We
know
have less than
what
30
is important
seconds.
to you, so that when I am going to express love to my friend, my anybody it is, actually, I use their love language. I actually had my kids take it. Then I realized, oh my goodness, my son, my friend, my older son loves it when I say I'm so proud of you. So now at 24, once he does anything positive like this, man, I'll be like, you know what? These are the kind of things that basically just make you an amazing son. Those things stick with him.
Okay, we actually have gone over. I hope it will still record, but we've gone over the 2 hour mark. But thank you so much, PK, for sharing that with us. So apparently, all Ibadan people do not actually have words of affirmation because they don't care if you abuse them. They will abuse themselves first before they abuse you. Well, honestly, I want to say massive, massive thank you to Ron, as always, to PK calling all the way from Lagos, Nigeria, to Liz, who had been on the queue waiting to talk with us. Thank you so much for Hannah, and also for Emmanuel, who is trying to recover from everything that he has heard tonight. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for tuning in, and of course we'll be here same time, same place, and I promise we're not going to be having so much problems because I'm going straight with the tablet. But till we do this again, take care and God bless.
You too. Thank you so much. Good night.